Millions of older adults wake up stiff, sore, and wondering why their arthritis just won't get better even when they're doing everything right. You take your medications on time, you follow your doctor's plan, you've even cut back on sugar and started stretching. So why does the pain keep coming back? Here's the hidden truth. Some drug combinations, especially the ones prescribed for high blood pressure, cholesterol, sleep, or even heartburn, can quietly make arthritis worse. These interactions aren't rare, and they don't always show up on warning labels. But they're powerful, and they may be sabotaging your progress without you even knowing. In today's video, we're exposing 6 medication combos that could be increasing inflammation, weakening your joints, or masking important warning signs. You'll hear real stories from real seniors, plus what you can do today to protect yourself. If this video opens your eyes, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment. What you share might just help someone else take back control of their health. Number 1. NSAIDs and blood pressure medications. The silent sabotage behind your joint pain. Len Chambers, 79, thought he was just getting older. A little swelling here, some back pain there. Nothing out of the ordinary, just age catching up right. But what he didn't know was that 2 everyday medications in his cabinet were quietly working against each other and against his joints. Len was taking ibuprofen to ease his arthritis pain. He was also on blood pressure meds lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide, both prescribed, both familiar, both trusted, but combined they were setting off a chain reaction that made his arthritis worse and put his kidneys at risk. Here's what happens. NSAIDs like ibuprofen or naproxen block substances that cause pain and inflammation. That's why they're so commonly used for arthritis. But those same substances also help your kidneys filter waste and manage blood pressure. When NSAIDs are taken regularly, they can cause your body to hold on to water and sodium. The result, more swelling, more stiffness, and rising blood pressure. Now add in ACE inhibitors or diuretics drugs meant to lower blood pressure. They help your body release fluid. But when NSAIDs step in, that fluid can get trapped. Kidneys become overworked, joints swell, and the medication that's supposed to help turns on you. According to the American Heart Association, this triple whammy NSAIDs, ACE inhibitors, and diuretics is a well-documented risk, especially in older adults. Yet it often flies under the radar because the symptoms build slowly: a little puffiness in the feet, a dull ache, a sense of fatigue that's easy to dismiss. That's exactly what happened to Len. He never missed a dose. He trusted his routine. But when his blood tests showed declining kidney function, his doctor took a closer look. The solution wasn't more medication, it was smarter medication. Len cut back on NSAIDs, switched to gentler options for pain, and started tracking his body's responses more closely. Within weeks, his swelling eased, his blood pressure stabilized, and his mornings felt a little lighter again. This isn't about blaming medication, it's about knowing how they interact. If you're taking NSAIDs regularly and also managing blood pressure, it's worth having a real conversation with your doctor. What else are you taking? Are your kidneys being monitored? Is your pain relief plan helping or slowly setting you back? Your medication should work with your body, not against it. And sometimes avoiding the wrong combo is the key to getting your life and your movement back. Number 2, corticosteroids and acid reducers. The daily duo that quietly weakens your joints. Florence Daniels was 82, sharp as ever, and proud to be living on her own. For years, she'd managed her rheumatoid arthritis with low-dose prednisone. It helped ease the flare-ups, especially during winter when her hands would stiffen. But along the way, something else crept in. It started with fatigue. Then came a nagging ache in her lower back. She noticed she couldn't stand as straight. Her legs felt wobbly going down the steps. At first, Flo thought she was just slowing down with age. But when a routine bone scan showed early signs of osteoporosis, her doctor raised an eyebrow. Flo wasn't just taking prednisone. She was also using omeprazole, a common acid reducer, to deal with the occasional heartburn the steroid triggered. That combination, it was slowly robbing her bones of strength. Here's what many don't realize: corticosteroids like prednisone can interfere with calcium and vitamin D metabolism. Over time, they thin the bones and weaken joints. That's why most doctors recommend calcium and D supplements alongside long-term steroid use. But when acid reducers like omeprazole or ranitidine enter the picture, things get more complicated. These drugs suppress stomach acid, and that acid is necessary for the body to absorb calcium effectively. No acid, no absorption. And without proper calcium levels, bones become brittle, joints suffer, and fractures become more likely. Research from the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that seniors taking both corticosteroids and proton pump inhibitors had a significantly higher risk of hip fractures compared to those taking either drug alone. That was exactly what happened to Flo. Her arthritis was under control, but her skeletal system was slowly collapsing beneath her. The very meds meant to protect her were quietly making her more fragile. Once the connection was clear, her care team made changes. They adjusted her reflux treatment, shifted her prednisone plan, and increased her dietary intake of calcium and vitamin D. She also began light resistance training to strengthen her bones safely. Within months, Flo felt more stable. Her back pain eased, her posture improved, and most importantly, she felt in control again. If you're taking both steroids and acid-reducing medications, it's time to look closer. Not just at your pain, but at your foundation. Because bones don't scream for help. They whisper until they break. And by then, it may be too late. Ask your doctor about bone density scans. Review your supplements. Revisit your treatment plan. The strength of your bones isn't just about what you feel, it's about what you're slowly losing day by day without warning. Don't let that happen in silence. Number 3, statins and antifungal medications. When cholesterol drugs imitate arthritis. Woody Ellis had been a firefighter for 30 years. Tough, active, always on his feet. At 76, he still prided himself on staying sharp and independent. He'd been on a statin for over a decade, atorvastatin for cholesterol with no issues. That changed fast. It started with a small skin rash. His doctor prescribed a common antifungal medication. Within days, Woody felt something shift. His legs grew stiff, not sore in the joints, but heavy, tight in the muscles. His back ached every morning. Walking upstairs felt like climbing a mountain. He thought, maybe my arthritis is getting worse. But this pain didn't act like arthritis. It lingered in the muscles, not the joints. It didn't respond to ibuprofen. It made his balance wobbly. Something was off. What Woody didn't know was that the antifungal had blocked his liver from processing the statin properly. That caused the drug to build up in his system. The result, muscle pain, weakness, and a kind of fatigue that mimics joint disease. Statins are lifesavers. They reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes. But they also reduce levels of CoQ10, an enzyme your muscles need for energy. Without it, muscle cells struggle. When another drug interferes with how the statin is broken down, like certain antifungals, antibiotics, or even grapefruit juice that struggle turns into real pain. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that nearly 30% of patients on statins report some form of muscle pain. But in older adults, that pain is often confused with arthritis or worse, ignored entirely. That was Woody's mistake. He waited, thought it would pass. It didn't. After his doctor ran blood work, the problem became clear. His liver enzymes were up and his statin level had doubled. He stopped the antifungal, took a short break from the statin, added CoQ10 to his routine. Slowly, the stiffness faded. He could move without grimacing again. This is more common than most people think. If you're on a statin and suddenly feel new pain in your legs, your back, or your muscles, especially after starting a new medication, it might not be arthritis. It might be your statin talking. Tell your doctor, get your muscle enzymes checked. Ask if CoQ10 might help. Because when muscle pain hides behind joint pain, the real problem can go undetected for months. And for seniors, that delay can mean missed walks, skipped steps, and lost strength that's hard to get back. Listen to your body. The pain might not be age, it might be a signal. Number 4, diuretics and gout, a painful spark hiding in your water pill. Darlene Kruger was 84, a retired florist, mother of 4, and proud of the fact that she still did her own grocery shopping. She'd been taking a diuretic, what she called her water pill, for years to manage high blood pressure. It worked well, no issues, until one morning she woke up and couldn't put weight on her left foot. The pain was sharp. Swelling had set in overnight. The skin looked red hot and tight. She thought she had twisted something, maybe stepped wrong, but there had been no fall. Her doctor took one look and sent her for tests. The verdict, gout. Darlene was shocked. She'd never had gout before, never eaten rich, heavy foods. She didn't drink. She avoided red meat. So how did this happen? The answer lay in her daily pill bottle. Thiazide and loop diuretics, the most commonly prescribed types for seniors, help lower blood pressure by pushing excess fluid and sodium out through the kidneys. But they also reduce how efficiently those kidneys clear uric acid from the bloodstream. And when uric acid builds up, it crystallizes. Those crystals settle in the joints, especially the toes, ankles and knees, causing sudden burning pain. The kind of pain Darlene woke up with. The American College of Rheumatology warns that certain diuretics can raise uric acid levels significantly, especially in older adults. And since gout attacks often mimic sprains or flare-ups of osteoarthritis, many seniors don't recognize the true cause right away. That delay can be costly. Darlene's care team adjusted her medications. They switched her to a different blood pressure drug with less impact on uric acid. She also made a few tweaks to her diet, cutting down on shellfish and processed meats. And they started her on a low-dose uric acid-lowering therapy. She hasn't had a flare since, but she'll never forget that morning, the pain, the confusion, the feeling of helplessness. If you're taking a water pill and suddenly experience intense joint pain, especially in your feet, it might not be arthritis. It might be gout. Ask for a uric acid blood test. Review your medication list with your doctor. There are better options, ones that don't trade heart health for joint agony. Because sometimes the thing helping one part of your body is quietly hurting another. And when it comes to pain, guessing wrong means suffering longer. Number 5, antidepressants and sleep aids. When relief masks the real pain. Stan Holbrook had always been a light sleeper. At 77, arthritis made it worse. The pain in his hands and lower back would wake him up before sunrise. His doctor suggested a low-dose antidepressant with sedative effects, just enough to help him stay asleep. It worked. For the first time in months, Stan was getting solid rest. But something else started happening. His joints felt stiff all day. Not sharp pain, just a dull, dragging tightness that never really went away. He assumed the arthritis was simply progressing. He took his medications, pushed through the stiffness, but it got harder to grip things, harder to stretch. By the time he noticed the change in his posture, it was too late. Stan's rheumatologist reviewed his medications and found the issue. His sleep aid and antidepressant, both meant to help, were dulling his pain signals. Drugs like zolpidem, trazodone, and certain SSRIs don't just help with sleep or mood. They can also blunt the nervous system's natural response to inflammation. In short, they make it harder for your body to warn you when something's wrong. And if you can't feel the pain, you can't respond to it. This delay can allow inflammation to smolder quietly day after day, causing damage to joints, ligaments, and tissues while you're none the wiser. A 2020 study in the Journal of Clinical Rheumatology found that seniors on sedating medications were more likely to report late-stage arthritis damage, not because their disease was more aggressive, but because symptoms were missed early on. For Stan, this realization was a turning point. His doctor gradually tapered off the sedative. They replaced it with natural sleep strategies, guided breathing, melatonin, a weighted blanket. Within weeks, he could feel his joints again. The stiffness made more sense. His anti-inflammatory treatment became more precise and more effective. If you're sleeping better but moving worse, if your joints feel off but not painful, if you're managing arthritis and also taking something to help with sleep or mood, don't ignore it. Ask your doctor, are these medications dulling my ability to notice flare-ups? Is my inflammation being treated or just hidden? Because arthritis doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers underneath the fog of a good night's sleep. And if you can't hear it, you can't fight it. Number 6, herbal supplements and prescription drugs. Natural isn't always safe. Clay Weston was the kind of guy who believed in the power of nature. At 73, he was managing psoriatic arthritis with a mild immunosuppressant. But wanting to go more natural, he started taking turmeric capsules every morning. Then came garlic extract, then fish oil, all based on articles claiming anti-inflammatory benefits. It felt like a smart move. For a while, it even seemed to help. His morning stiffness eased. He liked knowing he was doing something proactive, something gentle. But then his energy started slipping. He felt sluggish after meals. A dull ache settled under his ribs. His joints flared more often. It didn't make sense. A routine blood test told the real story. Clay's liver enzymes were elevated. His arthritis medication, normally stable, was fluctuating in his system. Some days too low, other days too strong. The supplements, especially turmeric and garlic, had been quietly interfering with how his liver processed the medication. What many don't realize is that natural doesn't mean neutral. Turmeric, garlic, St. John's wort fish oil. These common herbs and oils can affect the liver's enzyme systems. Some speed up drug metabolism, making prescriptions less effective. Others slow it down, leading to dangerous buildup. And when paired with NSAIDs or corticosteroids, some like garlic and fish oil can thin the blood and raise the risk of internal bleeding. A 2018 review published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that nearly 20% of adverse drug reactions in older adults involved interactions with over-the-counter supplements. Clay was lucky. His doctor caught it in time. They paused the supplements, adjusted his medication dose, and switched to dietary sources of anti-inflammatory support, like leafy greens, berries, and omega-3 rich foods. His liver numbers returned to normal. His pain management stabilized. He still believes in natural healing, but now he knows it has to be guided, not guessed. If you're taking any supplement, no matter how harmless it seems, tell your doctor. Review everything you take, even if it's just vitamins. Because your liver only has so much capacity, and when it's working overtime to handle both herbs and prescriptions, something's bound to slip. Your joints, your energy, even your safety depend on balance. Not more pills, just the right ones working together. Not every ache is what it seems. Sometimes the pain in your joints isn't coming from arthritis, it's coming from the pills meant to help you. Even the best medications, when mixed the wrong way, can quietly wear down the very system you're trying to protect: your bones, your muscles, your independence. If you're taking 3 or more medications each day, it's time to take a closer look. Talk to your doctor. Sit down with your pharmacist. One small adjustment might be the key to lifting a burden you've carried for years. Because you deserve more than relief, you deserve clarity. And I'll be here with you, not just to treat symptoms, but to help you understand your body, listen to it, and live better with each passing day. If this helped you, don't forget to subscribe. Your health is your greatest wealth.